All right. Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. Big up to the cookers. Big up to the people who dip on the replay. Thanks for being here. I want to do a quick live because, child, I got to get ready to go to work. I want to talk about this topic, and I want to give some additional commentary on the video that I did last night. So, man, so I do get worked up about some things. Wagwan, my small space. Big up, Citron. Happy Monday to you. But so guys, y'all know I get passionate about stuff, and I'm not the only one. A lot of us do, we all get passionate about things, but I'm gonna try to bring you a little bit of healing with the mess. I'll be honest, I did watch a part of Five Babes Live, and she titled her live Reflex or Abuse. And that really bothered me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I think y'all know, some of you guys know that I do trauma therapy as a part of the work that I do, mostly with kids, sometimes with adults. And I just don't like when people conflate stuff. So I'm going to be as objective as possible when I talk about this so that we can hopefully all learn from this. And obviously, I love your input because you guys always have amazing things to say and you help me to stretch myself and to think. Maybe I'm not thinking about it from a certain perspective. So first, I'm going to go in and say, hey, Cynthia Lewis. Um, so, listen, so here's the thing. Y'all know I did a video yesterday about what happened with Rico. Okay. Now, first of all, let me just say this. I don't have a problem with Rico. Okay. Like I said in the video, good morning, AJ. AJ, honest to God, I legit thought about you this week. And I was like, yo, I haven't seen AJ in a while. I hope they're okay. I was sending you good vibes. I hope you felt it. So that's so crazy. So good morning, Samara. Yes, thank you. All my people who are here in the building. So I was watching her live, and y'all, some of y'all know what happened with Rico. Okay. I don't have a problem with Rico. In fact, I wish Rico well. I do think that there's a lot of people who attack and target him on here unnecessarily. But I also think that there's a lot of things that Rico does that calls for people to criticize him. And this recent incident with the cat, oh, I missed you too. Good morning, Houston Bread. Houston Bread, I'm so behind on your videos, sis. I got to catch up. Okay, if y'all have not checked out Houston Bread, please check her out. All right, she stays with the hot topics, but like the deep life hot topics. And so, I'm not here to judge Rico. I want to be clear, but I'm going to be honest. See, one of the things that I like about who I am is if I like you and if I don't like you or if I'm indifferent towards you, I'm going to be honest. Even if I don't always come out here and make a video, I'm going to be true to myself. I'm not going to come and say some shit just to appease people. Okay? Thank you for showing love, Houston Bread. I appreciate that, sis. I'm not going to come on here and pee on your leg and tell you say Tarian. That's really not me. That's really not who I am unless I legit don't know what's going on. And to me, it bothers me on here when people support people and then they can't tell somebody when they're wrong. Like, I just think that's weird. I think it's shady. You know what I'm saying? If I'm doing something, I want people, even if I don't necessarily agree with you, I want people to be like, yo, I don't see it that way, or I think you could have handled this differently. Good morning, Sister Crystal. Big up to the sous chef in the chat. And it just bothers me when people can't be objective when it comes to things that are clearly black and white. Like, if you hurt an animal, I don't care if I love you. I don't care, if you're a family or friend, I'm not going to get down with that shit. Period. I'm going to tell you you're wrong. And if I choose to speak out publicly about it, I don't speak out about everything. Okay. And so this reveals a lot about our community. This is what I'm seeing. I think that it reminds me of, and I think about things in these terms because sometimes I look at things because of the work that I do. It helps me to see things in our community, the dysfunctional thinking that we have. Notice I didn't say that other people have, that we have. Okay. And I really think slavery has done a number on us. And I think that some of us, it's just like the people who co-sign, I'm not talking about people who spank their kids. I'm not going to judge them. Like, I don't recommend it, but there's a difference between spanking and abuse, but you don't need to hit an animal to discipline them. There's just no reason for that. And this was not just like a discipline. You punch the damn cat in the face. You know what I'm saying? The first thing I want to say here is I don't feel sorry for Rico if they call the animal, what is it, the ASCPA people? Me don't feel sorry for him. What I do feel sorry for is I don't think it's necessary to call the cops on him or try to get him kicked out of his place or, lose his job. Y'all know I don't support none of that stuff. You guys know I don't support any of that. But if people did call the ASCPA on him or Peter or whoever, I don't feel bad because that's what they're there for. You're not supposed to be hurting animals. Okay? So we're going to talk about what are some trauma responses, because people are trying to make it seem, in my video last night, I did kind of allude to the fact that Rico clearly has been through some significant things. If you guys watched the video, I'm going to tell y'all what I saw in the clip, because I didn't watch his whole video. In the clip, I saw somebody, he claimed that the cat bite him. Now, I don't know if it was a love bite, because y'all know sometimes animals will nip at you and you could train that out of them. Some animals are nippy. They're not necessarily trying to hurt you, like take a chunk out of your flesh. They're not attacking you. And so I don't know. I didn't see what the animal did, but he says the animal bit him. Okay. Now, if it's a reflex, you might push the animal off of you. That is a reflex. Okay. I'm not saying that's an appropriate response, but that would be, I'm not thinking, my brain is going into overdrive. I feel attacked. However, if you ball up your fists, punch an animal, and then proceed to say, do it again, I dare you. That is not a fucking reflex. Okay, that is not a trauma response. A trauma response is something happens to you, you freeze, you flee, or you fight. Now, could we look at this as Rico choosing the fight option in a trauma response? Sure. We can say that he felt he was bitten. Okay, we don't know the degree of how he was bitten. And his trauma response was, I'm going to choose to fight. But that is something that happens. I told y'all the story recently in a recent live. Remember I told you I used to work in a psych hospital and one of the patients pushed me into the door, and I felt myself because as human beings, we don't want to get hands put on us. We don't want to get pushed. We don't want to get attacked. Most people aren't going to take kindly to that shit. However, I know the job that I'm doing and I know the facility that I'm in. Was I angry at that woman? Absolutely. Did I want to punch her in her face? I would be lying if I said I didn't. But I know that as part of my job, this lady is not well. Okay, I can't. You think I could go punch a patient and tell them, say, oh, well, I have a trauma history? Child, they're gonna fire my ass and they're gonna bar my ass from the field. Like, you have to have emotional regulation. So let's say he pushed the cat off of him because he was so frightened. That would be a reflex. That would be like, okay, oh my gosh, something's happening. You know what I'm saying? But then he continued to say all this stuff, and it was like he was proud of himself and like he did the right thing. What I saw was somebody that he didn't know any better. He clearly thought what he was doing was right, but that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it okay. Some of us, let's say some of us went through trauma as kids. I can't go and be like, well, I'm going to pop my child because this is what happened to me. I'm going to punch him in the face. You know, when the police come or CPS come, I can't be like, well, this is how my mama raised me. You know, like, do y'all know the stuff that people do to their kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, how, like, can I go and say, well, it was a reflex? The child broke the TV. It was a reflex. What? I want y'all to understand, I'm looking at this through a trauma lens, okay? It makes no sense. People are making excuses because they like the person. Hi, good morning, Andrea. People are clearly making excuses, okay? Yes, this person is targeted. Yes, this person is dragged. And I don't understand why people have such a hatred for him. Like, I understand why he pushes like people's buttons and gets under their skin. I'm not talking about the people who hate him. We know they're going to have nothing good to say, but wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter if you like cats or not. I'm allergic to cats. I've never had a cat. I love dogs, but I want y'all to think, if you had an animal or you had a pet and somebody came to your house and, you know, let's say they're scared and they had a trauma response and the cat came and sniffed their hand or something and, you know, they got scared and spooked and they punched threw your animal across the room. How would you feel? How would you feel? I'm going to read some of these comments and then we're going to get back into this trauma reminders and reactions and things, because we're going to really talk about that, because that's a real thing. I heard him say slap, but didn't see him hit. If you watch it enough times, you'll see that he did both. Just Blaze said, all I know about trauma response is the brain rewires itself to deal with trauma. Facts. Just Blaze is spot on here. Either it rewires it or it snaps, i.e. nervous breakdown, then classic fight, flight, or freeze. This is exactly what I was talking about. Okay. That fight, flight, or freeze is deeply rooted and wired into our brain and into our systems because it helps to protect us. That's the shit that helps to save you. From way back in the day, if you see, you know, a damn tiger or something, okay, and you need to decide, do I need to run? Okay, do I stand still or do I fight this thing? That is there to keep us safe. However, the problem with trauma is that trauma could totally mess with that response. So trauma makes you feel like you're always in danger. Okay. Trauma makes you feel like you're always getting attacked by the saber-toothed tiger. You're always surrounded by bears and shit. That's what trauma does to your brain. And so if you constantly feel like you're under threat, okay, which again, somebody like Rico, who may have had some trauma in his history, okay, you're going to respond to things in a different way. You're going to respond differently, and you might not be able to, those responses are going to be in overdrive. Your feeling of fighting, you know, fleeing or freezing, it's going to be an overdrive, and it's going to be really hard. This is where you get with PTSD, with people who've experienced different things. This is where you get people who they're in a regular situation and they smell something, they hear a sound, they see something that triggers them, and then you wonder why they act in the way they do, because trauma really messes with your brain. It really messes with your brain. Samara said, I think everyone's reaction is different. Samara, that's absolutely true. We can't dictate people's responses. That's a very good point. What I'm saying is, if he had just one quick reaction and it's like, oh my gosh, he just like pushed the animal off of him or something, or even if he slapped the animal and then realized like, oh my gosh, he didn't do that. He then like puffed out his chest and was like, do it again. Like he was talking to another human being, like a grown ass person, like somebody just came and swung on him. At the end of the day, the point is he shouldn't have an animal. If you're that triggered and your trauma reactions are uncontrollable to that point, you don't need to be taking care of another living being, period. I don't care who want to get mad. Okay? I don't give a fuck who wants to get mad, because it's just facts. You need to learn how to regulate your emotions. You shouldn't be taking care of no damn animal if that's how you're going to respond. Okay. Thanks, Sister Crystal. Doreen said, I asked people to put their pet away or don't visit. Yes, some people don't do the pets at all. Sister Crystal said, please gently press the like button as you enter. It helps the broadcast get more views. Thank you kindly. Thank you so much, Sister Crystal. So it's like, you can't make excuses. You know what I'm saying? There's, like I said before, there's plenty of parents who have endured a lot of trauma. That doesn't mean you get a pass to come and reenact that shit on your own kids. or other people. It's just not, you don't get a pass. It helps you to understand the person. It might help you to understand where they're coming from, but it doesn't excuse it by any means. You know, like that doesn't make any sense to me. Rico is not a child. Rico is a grown ass man. Samara said, my cousin's cat attacked your feet when you come in her house, and my reflex is to kick and I football punch to the cat. That was my reflex. I'm not an animal abuser because you felt attacked. You felt like, and Samara, this isn't even your animal. This is somebody else's animal. Some people don't do pets at all. For example, I don't like animals licking me at all. I know that that's, for some of them, that's a way that they show affection, or they think they're cleaning you or whatever. I don't like licks from animals. Okay. I will hug an animal. I'll pet them. They can cuddle with me. I don't want them licking me, period. And then some people, they be having the animal licking them and their face and shit. And I think it's gross. I'm sorry if you're offended. That's just me. I don't like it. Okay. So I will get away from the animal if I need to. I told you I'm allergic to cats. So if I pet a cat, I might go wash my hands, or I just don't pick them up. I stay away from them. Right. So that's different, Samara. You didn't go and say, you didn't go and get this cat, and then this cat is playing at your feet, and then you kicked it. That's a reflex. That's what a reflex is, what Samara just said. Okay. That's different. That is different. But after Rico did what he did, he got up and he made it seem, it felt like I was watching somebody get in a fight. Okay, somebody get in a fight, and then they're feeling froggy, and they got a hit in, and they're like, yeah, come at me again. Like, do y'all understand how absurd that is? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not normal. And this is why he should have left the damn cat on the street. I'm not even convinced it's a stray. It could be somebody's cat, but whatever. He thought he was doing something good, so we're not gonna go. We're not gonna like knock him for that. Okay. But that's why you don't have no business picking that animal up off the street, because you sit up there and this animal, you don't know why it did that. And you did all this stuff. And then you dared the animal to do it again. That's not, guys, I'm telling you, that's not normal. Okay. It's not normal. AJ said, this is why it's so important that we have Black women and men in the mental health industry like you. Thank you, AJ. We don't have enough mental health professionals who understand where we are coming from. And this is why I'm trying to look at it. Thank you, AJ. I really appreciate those words. This is why I'm trying to look at it from both sides. If you listened to my video yesterday, yes, I did go in on Rico. But I also said it was very clear that Rico clearly has been through some things, because it was normal to him. Like, I looked at him in the video and I can tell Rico thought this was normal. Rico thought this is what you're supposed to do. Okay. Cat Williams has a skit. I love Cat Williams. Okay. He has a comedy piece where he talks about Black people disciplining their toddlers. Okay. And, obviously there's some generalizations in here. And he's talked about this lady at the grocery store, and her baby wanted some, I think, was it Twix or Skittles, or I think it was Skittles or something. And then he acted and pretended like the lady hulked out on her child. Okay. And he's saying this is like a Black woman. And he was like, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the joke. And he was like, you ignorant bitch. Your baby is 3. They're supposed to want Skittles. So in that moment, Cat Williams was outlining the things that we sometimes get so worked up about and get so upset about and act like it's deadly and we need to like beat the crap out of somebody for it. That was a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Like, Cat Williams was trying to show how we normalize certain things in our community, and really developmentally, no, that don't mean you're going to give your child Skittles, but it is developmentally appropriate that they're going to see candy at the store and be like, oh, I want some. And then as a parent, you don't need to be like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you if you ask for Skittles. No, you say, no, I'm not going to get you any Skittles today. You know what else is developmentally appropriate? That child might get upset. Okay. And you're going to have to teach them they're not going to get it, even if they act a damn fool. It doesn't mean you have to punch them or pinch them. You don't got to do none of that. See, and then that's the thing, is like, some things is just developmental. Like, this damn cat didn't ask for you to scoop him up off the street and bring him to your home, where you have, the tolerance of 2, and you snap on this thing. Leave the cat where it was. Bring it back to a shelter. You're clearly not equipped to take care of this animal. You know what I'm saying? Trauma responses or not, you're not equipped to take care of this animal, period. And I don't care who want to get mad about it. Samara said, I'm not making excuses, but he was drinking and he doesn't know what that the cat is, if it's feral. This is an excellent point that Samara is making here. We're going to read that again. I'm not making excuses, and you're not. This is a really good point. But he was drinking and he doesn't know that cat and if it was feral. So I actually thought about that as well, Samara, after. We know that Rico tends to drink. Okay. That's one of his growing edges. He drinks too much and it gets him in trouble. And I actually, because I didn't watch this whole video, I don't know how much he had drank or if he was drinking, but I did wonder, was Rico drunk when he did this? Because that's also going to mess with your ability to control yourself. Good morning, MV. Good morning, M Tate. Yes, you do have to teach kids to self-regulate. Exactly. And how you teach them to self-regulate is not slapping the shit out of them for everything. Contrary to what some of us were raised. Okay. But a lot of our parents, they did the best that we could. All right. That they could. So she's absolutely right here. He could have been drunk. All right. That's going to affect how you respond. I agree. He shouldn't have brought the cat home. That cat doesn't look neglected. This is like people who decide, again, I know I talk about this a lot. This is like people who decide, I'm going to become a foster parent. They didn't look into what it means to be a parent. Okay, they just think it's something to do or it's some money to collect. I'm not talking about everybody, just some people. They really don't think it's due. They don't think about, what am I going to have to do to this, for this kid? Where do I have to take them? And then they get mad when the kid has appointments and stuff and, they have to be involved in their life. Not all, but a few people are like this. This is the same thing. You think you're doing something nice and you scoop up this animal. Animals need a lot, okay? They need a lot of care and attention. Sure, with the cat, you can get lucky. You don't have to walk them. They're pretty independent. You just got to have food in a litter box and stuff. But there's things that they need. Jess Blaze said, I appreciate you sharing your knowledge. I've had brain surgery and trauma therapy, so the brain was something I studied by default. And Jess Blaze, thank you for that, sis, because this is something I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about trauma, how it affects our brain. Trauma is very much about neuroscience. Therapy can help, but I'm learning, even as a trauma therapist, I've gotten more training and I've learned it has to go beyond therapy sometimes, right? Or therapy has to get more advanced than what you do, because some people, I can't just be like, do this mindfulness activity, it's going to retrain your brain. Some people are so traumatized, they can't start there. They're not in their body. They can't even start with that shit. They have to do some other physical things before they can tap into the mindfulness. If you're not comfortable being in your body, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to sit and meditate? How are you going to sit and do mindfulness activities? These are all things that I'm learning, that it's like, oh my gosh, you learn things and you're like, damn, I wish I knew this back in the day when I had this client, But thank you for sharing that, Jess Blaze. And then there's a whole another layer when you have brain trauma, right? Or when you have brain surgery. Like, there's just so much, like, there's a lot of retraining that you have to do. Our brains are powerful, but trauma can really do a number on us. Trust me, I know. Okay. It can really do a number on us. You have to condition yourself out of certain things. And I actually believe that sometimes you could lessen it, but it doesn't necessarily really go away. You could just manage the level of it. Hey, Trademark. Hey, Pressure. He let the cat go. He did. So I know that I didn't watch this video, but I know that somebody called on him. And like I said, I don't feel bad if somebody called the animal people. I don't think it's right for people to jeopardize his housing, though, and his job. Leave that man's job and housing alone. That don't got nothing to do with him and that cat. Okay. If you're worried about the cat and you called, I can't fault you, because you did what you thought you were doing the right thing. Just knowing the rats in Mr. Reed, just knowing the rats in NYC, I can't imagine picking up a cute poodle. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all a story I read on LSA about this lady, and that she picked up this dog. I'm gonna tell y'all if I have time. Hey, Pressure. Sorry, I read that. And he needs to. I don't think Rico can take care of an animal. And I'm not trying, I said this, I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not here to down on Rico. Rico is very talented. Okay, he has a lot of things going for him, but Rico needs help. Rico needs a lot. Like, he needs a whole social worker if you don't have one. He needs some therapy. Okay, he needs a community of people. Rico needs help. A lot of help for different reasons, but we're not going to get into it. But he don't need to have no animal. Now, somebody like Rico could benefit from an emotional support animal, but he needs to be at a place where he's more stable and he's at a place where he can take care of this animal. Hey, MT, good morning. I don't think he's allowed to have it there anyway. And that's what people were saying, MV. That's the other thing. I don't think he's allowed to have it there anyway. My cat scratched me and I'm a natural instinct was to swing and he caught my forearm. Okay, but see, and this is what I'm saying. If an animal does something to you, I think you wanted to push it away or something. That makes sense to me. I'm talking about Rico's consistent reaction after he realized, oh shit, the cat bit me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It was something about it. I can't put it into words, but there's something about it. Hey, Indigo. Child, listen, YouTube don't like me. They don't give nobody no notification. They're a mess. Trauma is real. Yes, it is. And we underestimate how it affects us. We underestimate that. You know, I've told y'all, I've shared some of my story and I've done therapy. It wasn't specifically trauma therapy, but I've done therapy before. And, you know, I'm open to going back at different times in my life. Like I'm looking for a therapist now. But I learned in my trauma healing that talk therapy is sometimes not enough to work through your trauma. Sometimes, like I told you, I did body talk. I haven't gone because I don't feel like driving to the city and it's negative 26 here right now. Celsius, but it's still cold, right? So I don't want to go drive to the city, but I was doing body talk. So I've looked into different ways of healing trauma. It's not just therapy, there's different ways, but obviously because I'm a therapist, I'm gonna promote it. But I've learned for me, I need like a hybrid treatment, right? Trauma is no joke, child. It's not. Okay, it's not. MV said the cat ran so fast when he let it go. Did he show that, MV? Did he show that on camera? Lord of mercy. He should have at least taken it back to see this. I can't. This is like people. This one lady when I was in Philly. Okay, she got a chicken, and then she was like, I don't know if she was tired of having the chicken and shit. And then she just let the chicken go in the forest. I'm gonna let it be free. It's not laying eggs anymore. I'm gonna put it in a wild. Lady, you've been taking care of this damn chicken its whole life. Chickens don't have much of a protection for themselves. Okay, they can get snatched up not just by like mammals, but like hawks could get them if they're not too big. This lady gonna release the chickens in the damn forest. You know them chickens didn't live a night. People are just anyway. The only Samara said the only problem I have with the ignorant people in the sector, those that call the pet society, is different. But those that have to call to hurt Rico and get him in trouble is a problem. Samara, I'm going to star this. I don't know if you can see it on your end, but I absolutely agree with Samara here. Guys, I'm going to read that again because this is what I was talking about a few moments ago. And I said this twice already in this live. The only problem I have with the ignorant people in this sector, those that call the pet society, is different. I agree with that. I don't feel bad if they call it the pet society. That is an appropriate place to call. But those that call to hurt Rico, get him in trouble, is a problem. And I agree. This is absolutely wrong. But you know what? These people are going to reap a whole nasty piece of karma. I've noticed that there's people on here, they love to jeopardize people's living situation. They love to jeopardize people's jobs because they ain't shit and they don't got shit going on. And I said it. And only trash ass evil down to the gutter ass people want to jeopardize people's jobs and want to jeopardize their living or their school. Why do you need to target any of those things? If somebody is committing a crime or somebody is hurting somebody or something, then yes, you call the appropriate people. But why do you need to ruin this person's life? Why? Yeah, like these people ain't shit. And it's just like, I don't understand how you get joy out of somebody being homeless or somebody not. This man finally had, like, well, not finally, because I think he's been working. This man has a job and you're trying to jeopardize his job? A curse on all your motherfucking houses. Samara said, I'm glad he let the cat go. I am too, but I think he should have brought it to a shelter, not just put it back on the streets. Indigo said, I'm sorry, but Rico is a walking daily case study and needs involuntary therapy like straight jacket therapy. Damn, Indigo. He would be great. He would be a great CC if he gets help and learn to control his demons online. I agree. Rico has a lot of potential, Indigo. He needs help. I've seen this for years. This is why I really watch Rico. Sometimes I'm aware of what he's doing. I like his music videos. I like how he like puts those together. He's very talented. But I don't watch Rico's personal videos because I don't I cannot watch somebody just drinking themselves to death. I'm not entertained by somebody being sloppy drunk and just acting a damn fool. That's not entertaining to me. So I don't, that's triggering. That's work for me. I don't want to do that. So I don't watch his regular stuff. I just watch sometimes his music videos. But if Rico can get it together and get a support system, um, I think he could do a lot of amazing things. He just did a video. Okay. I'll check it out. Hey, Gummy. Samara said calling the police on black man has proven to be fatal, especially in NYC. Yeah, Eric Garner. See, a lot of these people don't care about the black community, Samara. They like to use it as talking points to make them feel good and sound nice and smart. They don't give a fuck about the black community. Because when you're that quick to do something like that, it just reveals who you are. If you call the Pet Society, I understand. I'm not going to judge anybody for doing that. And in fact, I think that was a good thing to do. He don't need that damn cat, period. Like I said. But why are you calling other stuff on this man? Why? It's just crazy. I don't understand it at all. Gummy said he shouldn't have that cat though. No, he shouldn't. I saw the way he punched that damn cat. Thank you. And people are trying to minimize. It's like, no, hey, Hear Her TV. Hear Her TV sidebar. You remind me, your voice reminds me of Azealia Banks. I don't know why, but I love listening to her voice because it reminds me of Azealia. But anyway, Jess Blaze said, yeah, I don't agree with that. Meanwhile, the same people won't pick up the phone to better their own lives. Thank you. They won't make a damn call to the crisis line. Okay. They won't make a call to improve their lives and say, hey, do you have any open spots in your therapy practice? They won't do that. They won't even make a chiropractor appointment. They won't even make a doctor's appointment. But you have time for call upon other people and ruin them lives. And I'm not, with the exception of looking out for this cat, I'm not talking about those people. But what is this obsession with destruction and destroying people's lives? Like, that shit is so... it is so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me. I just don't understand it at all. I don't understand it. But you know what? This is the world of the online people, because you make those type of threats face to face to people, you can end up 6 feet under somewhere and they ain't never gonna find your body. Like, that's the kind of shit that get people killed. But because these people hide behind their keyboards and their black screens, they think they can do these things. They think they can do it, but you know, they're going to do it to the wrong person one day. And it's not going to be no more lives. It's not going to be no more uploads. Okay. It's not going to be no more shorts, because you're going to be dead. And people might not find out for a while, because that's the stuff that you reap when you do evil ass shit like that. The phones with me. I'm just sick of it. I can't stand people that do that stuff. I was okay with them calling Pet Society. Me too. Not sure why they called the police on him unless they wanted him arrested for animal abuse. It's not that deep. Call the Pet Society. Get the pet out of his home. I'm not calling the police on you unless you got a bunch of animals that you over there skinning alive and doing some shit to. Those are the people that need the police calling on them. Okay. Indigo said Rico has self-destructive behavior, and most of the people who follow him is a part of the problem because they collide his behavior. And Rico is also aware of what he does. People will come for him. Yeah, he's not dumb. Like, Rico is aware of what he's doing. He's not well, but he's not dumb. Like people don't give him enough credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows what he's doing. He's strategic. But at the same time, it's like, yo, get it together. Why can't you? I want to be happy for Rico. When Rico moves and a lot of people were hating on him, I was happy for him. I'm like, okay, maybe he need a change of environment. Maybe he need to get out of his state. You know, he just had a lot of stuff happen. So I don't understand people hating on him for that. But whenever he does these messed up things, I totally understand why he infuriates people and why they don't want to deal with him. Gummy Bama said, beef sector people, including some subs, are into humiliating people. We're going to read that one more again. Yeah, I know I love to reread a good comment. Beef sector people, including some subs, are into humiliating people, especially content creators in the sector. It's sad, but they enjoy it. If this ain't the whole truth and nothing but the truth right here, okay? Gummy Bama is absolutely spot on with this. They love an old nasty piece of humiliation ritual. They love to see people scared and terrified and worried about their, where they're going to lay their head and if they got a job. But let me tell you something. This just came to me. 2022 is different. A lot of y'all that like to do that shit, your day is coming this year. This year, you're going to see some shit happen to people that love to do this shit. Watch and wait and see. Doreen is blessed said, in their mind, something's wrong with everyone else, never them. Facts. Yep. Gummy Bama said, period and point blank. They do. They love it. They love it. And that is a reflection of very sick, horrible people. Who wants to be humiliated? I remember when I was growing up in New Jersey, this was when I was living in New Jersey. And there was this lady, and she's Jamaican. It's for context, because some of us Caribbean folks, we know, I love my people, but some of them ain't shit. This lady, she's real old school. And her nephew was was this her nephew or her? No, this was her grandson. I think it was her grandson. He was so well behaved, and he was probably like 13 or 14. I remember I remember him because he was cute, and I had a crush on him. He was so well behaved. He was so quiet. And I don't know, he did something. It wasn't even something disrespectful. He just did something she didn't like. He did something she didn't like, and it wasn't horrible or terrible. Do you know? And I don't even know how this lady got away with this. Looking back now, I'm like, how did this lady not get like authorities called on her? This is a 14-year-old boy, brought him out in the middle of the street, okay, surrounded by like different people in the community, like people can see from their homes, and she whipped the shit out of him with a belt. That is sadistic. And she did that because she wanted to humiliate him. And I want to tell y'all, not that there's ever an excuse to do something like that, but I don't remember what he did, but I know that it wasn't that deep. And I said, what the fuck is going on? Okay. And ever since that day, I was like, this lady ain't shit. That's what she did. This is how some of these people think on here. They love to humiliate people. They love to see, people just at their low points, and they can't wait. It's just horrible. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. That's why I said 2022 is different. I don't know what it is. But I just got that message, that little download. This is their year. So y'all better get it together. You people who love to humiliate people, y'all better get it together. Call the Humane Society of the United States at 1-866-720-2676 to help animals in need. Thank you so much, Sister Crystal. I appreciate you. Gummy Bama said, lol, damn, Rico don't got the sector's minds dropping Humane Society info in the chat. We don't play around here. See, we're about that action, Gummy Bama, okay? We talk that shit, but we also about that action. Good morning, Zion Movements. Thank you for being here. We have to be able to look at things from both sides. Like I said, personally, I don't have anything against Rico. Okay, I wish him all the best. But if you do stupid shit and fucked up shit, I'm probably gonna say something about it. Okay, whether I like you, I'm indifferent towards you. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong. Even if he had a reflex, doesn't make it right. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. See, the people who make excuses for other people don't give that same courtesy when it comes to the people they hate. Okay, so that person who did the live this morning about the reflexes would never do that live if it was about one of their enemies. They would never look at it and think about it from a different perspective. They'd be like, no, that person is blah, blah, blah. Like, it would just be insane. That's what they would be doing. Okay, so that's the reason why I don't want to hear nothing from some of these people, because if you can't do the same thing when it comes down to the people that you don't like, I'm not interested. Thank you. I don't think that it was Gummy Bama. I agree with you. I don't think that was a reflex. And I'm going to stick with my story. Just Blaze said, I'd rather people call the Humane Society than animal cops. Yep. I know Animal Cops Detroit will kick the door in. Wait, there's Animal Cops too? I didn't even know that. I thought it was just like the cops. Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Samara said, now I don't know your feelings about Kwani, but she said the same thing. She said what he did was wrong, but calling the police is wrong. And those same people who called intentions are wrong. Yeah, they don't mean that man no well. I don't watch Kwani, Samara, but she's right. She's absolutely right. Calling the Pet Society totally appropriate. Calling the police, calling other things, unnecessary. Unnecessary. Zion movement said, I got my arse whooped like that when I was younger. Kind of normal to me, but I'm at peace with my dysfunctional upbringing. And we all got a little bit of that Zion movements, we all got that experience some things, right? But that story just stood out to me. I felt embarrassed for him. And maybe because I knew he wasn't a bad kid. Not that I'm saying bad kids deserve that. But I just couldn't believe this lady took him out in the middle of the street. And he would, what else is my pet peeves? People who hit their kids. I cannot stand people who hit older kids. Not that I support any hitting at all. But I think if you decided I'm gonna spank my children, when your kids get a certain age, you need to stop that shit. Like preteens and teenagers, if you believe in spanking, I don't think those kids should be getting spanked. It just feels so wrong. And then you wonder why people snap and then and kids hit them back. I'm not saying they should, but it's like, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I don't think you should be hitting your kids after a certain point if you choose to spank. Like, oh man. I just kept thinking, like, how not only was it humiliating and horrible, but how emasculating for this young man, like, to experience this. It was like, damn, son. I was, listen. Whoo, child. But you know what? My parents, I'm sure they have worse stories because their parents was them Caribbean parents, honey. They don't play. It's too much done on camera. Behind closed doors is still a thing. Yeah, and so some people were saying, oh, he puts too many things on camera. Here's my thing. I think that may be true, but sometimes I'm glad when people do dumb shit on camera because then something can be done. Right? Sometimes things could be done. And in this case, I don't wish any bad things on Rico, but if he well, it sounds like he gave the animal back. I think that it can only lead to good things for this animal. Cause like the way he hit that animal, how many of those punches do you think a little cat can survive like that? How? Indigo says some people think that humiliating others will in some way fix them or one way or the other, but Rico had also engaged in activities that humiliated others. Actually, that's true, Indigo. Indigo, you're right. Indigo is right. I gotta say, he has done that. She's not lying. And I heard that he's allegedly P-bombed some people too. Zion Movement says, I'm over here thinking I believe it. I've been Zion Movement said, if you didn't hear, you're gonna feel. Yeah, that's what they listen. That is a good old Caribbean phrase. If you're not here, you're going to feel. Okay. And I sure as hell did not want to feel. So I try to keep my arse in line, okay? Because I did not want to get a whooping. She also said, those who called the police days are coming, and the jail you tried to put them in will be for you. And it's another CC in the chat was bragging she called, and Q told her you were wrong. Okay, that's kind of creepy because that's kind of like what I said. Wow, and I didn't even watch your video. Thank you, Samara. No, I feel it. I feel like this year, these people are going to get a serious arse whooping for the evil shit that they've been doing. It's not too late to turn around. Because that's just evil. It's just, I can't. AJ said my grandfather's Bayesian. I love me some Bayesian. The Bayesian accent is great. He lost his sight in one eye due to his discipline. Wow. That just gave me chills. My grandmother told me about it. That is so sad, AJ. See, and that's what I'm saying. And that's what you could see from his generation. It's bad. My mom told me that it was really bad when she was young, and she didn't want to be like that with us. Like, yeah, we got like whoopings and stuff, but it was very rare and it was just not on that level. Good morning, Mildred. Thanks for being here, love. It's sad, guys. It's sad. Them generational, and actually I'm trying to think of my mom definitely got whoopings, but I think her mom also got really, really bad whoopings. And she, like, it's so crazy because they try to get better each generation, but it's like, you're losing an eye, you're losing body part. Like, that just like shook me. That is sad. I'm so sorry, AJ. That's sad. It's never like, oh man, I can't stand that shit. I can't stand it. Mildred Ration Iron said, good morning, everyone. I'm so happy this morning. Bella is free at last. Absolutely, Mildred. I'm with you on that. Somebody told me that, I think it was Samara actually shared that, Or no, it was MV. That's that he gave the cat back. So thank God that cat don't need to be there. Period. Just Blaze Detroit said, I've definitely pulled some stunts in my day, but I'm not recording it. And swinging on anybody with a phone in their hand, no self-incrimination. Thank you. Yeah, please don't do that. We all, listen, I know I get on here and I talk a lot of shit, but don't record yourself doing stuff. We all make mistakes. We've all been angry. You know, we all wish we could turn back the hands of time for some things. Please, 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 please don't record yourself doing stupid stuff. Don't do it. Just don't. I'm not even gonna say don't do the stupid stuff because we all know better, but sometimes we do stupid stuff. Don't record yourself doing this dumb shit. Just don't. If you decide you just don't do it. It's absolutely Just Blaze. Samara said, I hate the favoritism because of if that was one of my faves, they would have excused that behavior. And that is a hypocrisy. Samara, you pretty much summarized everything that I felt about this whole thing. And that's why I got so mad about that person's life. I understand that she was trying to maybe create some objectivity, but you're not doing that with other people that you don't like. You even brought somebody else into the equation about kids and stuff. And it's like, I don't even like that other person, but this has nothing to do with that. This man punched his cat. Like, it's just, I can't deal with it. And, you know, I'm going to be honest. If I'm just at a place where I really like somebody and they did some shit, I'm like, I'm just not going to say nothing. But what I'm not going to do is come out here and be like, yeah, let's find out a way that we can like spin this. So to make it seem like it's okay. It's not okay. And anybody who okays it gets the side eye. Mildred said, we got licks. Yep, got licks too. We didn't call them beating. Yep, you get to lick. It's so funny because it's true, because whooping is more a Black American term. But yeah, you get to lick. Or well, a boof is you ever got to boof, Mildred? A boof is just like a hard hit that just knocks the wind out of you, but it's just one hit. Terrible. Anyway, he said, sounds equivalent to I'll show you better than I can tell you. That's exactly what it is, Doreen. Those who don't hear must feel. I'll show you better than I can tell you. Yep. My mom made statement. Sister Crystal said, excuse me, Crisis Call Center. I love me some Sister Crystal. Okay, she stayed with the gems. Thank you, Sister Crystal. We got all the numbers for y'all. Okay. Like I said, we're about the action right here. Good morning, Binge. Zion said his development is arrested and he has the key to the freedom of his emotional maturity. Whoo, I felt that one. His development is arrested and he has the key to the freedom of his emotional maturity. But Rico is indignant in his dysfunctions. Damn, Zion, that just touched my soul. You're absolutely right. You're 250% right with that. It's true. And that's what breaks my heart about Rico. That's why I say I don't wish him any harm, but Rico creates his own unhappiness. Apart from the addiction, there's just so many other things that he just does. Rico, get help, honey. Not all of us are against you. Not all of us want to see, you in the gutter and fail. But part of caring about somebody is also telling them when they're wrong. You're wrong. Get help. Morning, everyone driving and listening. Here's lunch. Shout out to Ben. Thanks for being here. Thanks for riding along with us. Yes. Indigo said, I believe in disciplinary action. I surely believe spare the rod, spoil the child, but I tried to raise my daughters as I was raised with groundings. Tried to raise my daughters as I was raised with groundings and take away stuff, and it works for my girls. Yes. And I love, thank you for sharing that, Indigo. I really encourage people, especially Black people. A lot of us, we were just raised differently, or maybe our parents were raised differently. And part of the training that I did, because I also grew up like that, like, my parents weren't really bad with like hitting and stuff, but I definitely got hit. But it's like, you don't have to do that. One of the things I've learned in the work that I do, you don't have to do that to discipline kids. There's plenty of ways to do it. And many times it does more harm than good. And I know a lot of Black people will give you the side eye, when you say stuff like that, but I've seen it. And I've also seen how much damage it does to our community. We know that they snatch kids faster out of their Black and brown homes than anybody else. Okay. do what you can to raise your kids. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to do all of that stuff. Yes, grounding works, taking stuff away works. It's just saying what you mean and meaning what you say goes a lot further. Some kids, they ain't scared of no whippings, okay? It just makes them more violent and aggressive, and people don't realize that shit. Thank you for liking the live broadcast as you enter. Thank you, Sister Crystal. Samara said, my parents spanked me when I had my first child. I followed that theory. But by the time my child turned 8, I had my second child and I had stopped spanking and haven't with my youngest. And Samara, thank you for sharing that. That is beautiful and powerful. I'm going to tell you about my mom. My mom spanked us growing up. And, my mom works in a daycare now. And she's like, and she didn't even hit us much. But she was like, yeah, if I would do it again, I wouldn't do that. And to hear, my mom is a Jamaican born and bred woman. Okay. Like I said, she was not like physically abusive. Yeah, we got spanked and stuff, but nothing crazy. And she was like, no, she wouldn't do it. And she's like, encouraged me like, oh yeah, you don't need to hit your kids and stuff, And I agree with her. I agree with her. There's so many different ways. And some of us like, and the other thing is I don't judge parents. I don't judge parents because some parents, that's what they choose to do. And I don't recommend it, but I don't judge them because as long as you're not hurting your kids, you can spank your kids and not be abusing them. I do believe that. But I think it's good to learn other tools because I see how much that affects our community, at a higher rate than other people. I hate to see people losing their kids. Well, some people need to lose their kids because they're horrible. Sorry, but not sorry. But I have also worked with a lot of parents that just didn't know better, guys. They just didn't know better. And thankfully, hey, Tiffany, thankfully, they've gotten their kids back. Some of them have learned, okay. And they've just learned there's different ways to do things. Some people don't know that those are the consequences. I told y'all the story about an Indian client that I had. And, she was spanking her son in the waiting room. And my boss came to me and was like, Tamar, could you talk to your client? And she wasn't abusing him, but she was spanking him. And there was this parent who was like horrified, and you could tell she's fitting it. Actually, I think my boss had to talk her down from it, was going to call and stuff. And my boss talked to her about it, about like to the parent, like, oh, we're going to handle it. Child, I had to talk to that Indian mom about that. She was shooketh. And I was like, I know you're not abusing your child. Because I just knew her enough to know, like, she spanked him, but she wasn't, I've never seen anything crazy like marks or anything. He didn't look scared of her. And I just had a real honest conversation with her, just like I've had with a lot of my Black families. Like, look, I know that this is the way that we were raised and thought to be raised, but, this is the situation that you could end up in. This is how it affects your child. You know what I'm saying? Some people you can have those real conversations with. Some parents, I don't trust them. If I think they're just shady and just messed up, I'm not going to have that conversation with them because then I'm almost teaching them how to hide. You know what I'm saying? If they are actually abusive. But some parents, I've had real conversations with them because they just don't know better. They're not sadistic. They're just trying to raise their kids. And I would hate for their kid to be taken away from them because they're sitting up there. This is culturally, you smack your kid, and she smacked them in the waiting room. And this white lady was mortified and was getting ready to call on her, right? Which is, you can't blame her. Like, that's just, but I love having those real conversations with parents because it is more traumatic to pull kids from homes. It's not, some kids need to be removed immediately from homes, but many times it causes a lot more harm than good, depending on the severity of the situation, right? If it's something that could be worked out through parenting classes or therapy, then I'm all for it. Some things, if the kid's getting sexually abused, they need to get the fuck out of that home ASAP. If they're getting severely physically abused, they need to get snatched up ASAP. Okay? And even like, I don't know CPS and how they do this, but I even feel bad for parents who don't have enough to like feed their kids. Like, if CPS comes to your home for something else and they come and your place is just deplorable, I'm talking about super bad, not just dirty, and you don't got enough, like, if your kid is malnourished, they will take your kid. But I feel bad, like, unless you're on drugs or something, I feel bad for those parents because what if they're doing the best that they can? They just need more supports, right? Nope, it's not okay for your kid to be like malnourished, but like, I don't know. I think about like we were never malnourished. Hello. You've seen my fabulous self, but like I know that there were hard times that my mom had when we were kids. And yeah, I was a free lunch kid and a reduced lunch kid at times. You know what I'm saying? We had short stints of food stamps. Like we never went to bed hungry or anything like that. But it was like times, there were hard times. And so I just think about what about the people who try their best and still get screwed? Do you know what I'm saying? Like I think about this shit, guys. I really think about this. Like poverty is complicated. Anyway, let me get back to these comments. Design Movement said thanks. AJ said, I've realized that spanking is not the way I want to go with my daughter. Yes. There's nothing worse than seeing your child in pain or scared of you. AJ, I love the way you said this. I absolutely agree with you. You don't want them, you don't need to instill fear of pain for them to listen to you. That is a lie and a fallacy. But a lot of us were raised like that. Like, that's the only way. That's the only way they're going to listen. You know what I'm saying? Now we know in some communities, some people go to a other extreme end and they let their kids talk to them any type of way and stuff. But that's not all of them. There's ways. I love what AJ just said, and I wish more of us would embrace that. Tiffany said, "Oh, I'm late. Hi, pressure cooker. Hey, Tiffany. I know I said hi already, but I'm gonna say hi again." Samara said, "My son at first was angry because he thought I was showing favoritism." That's hard, Samara, and I can understand that because you grew and you learned. But he actually came to me like 5 years ago, and he said, "I'm glad you don't spank them because it only made me angrier." Oh, that makes me want to tear up, Samara. You know, not only is this the information you shared powerful, but it shows me that you've raised your kids to be emotionally intelligent. That your son could come to you and say that to you. Like, how beautiful is that your son can share that with you? I am so happy for you. And you know what? Yes, it was hard for him to see that, but then he realized in the long run, oh, I'm so happy that like she didn't have to do that. And it does make them angrier. Not every kid it instills fear. Not every kid. That's not everybody's different. AJ said I've gotten way further with my daughter by talking, grounding, time out. Yes, and I'm telling you, AJ, when I would say this to some of my black families, they would look at me like I'm crazy. Like, girl, you got any kids? That's the look that they would give me. But I'm like, just trust me. Threats always have to escalate because they lose their potency. We're going to read that part again. Threats always have to escalate because they lose their potency. That is the part that actually makes spanking dangerous. If you spank your kids, right? Not all, but for some kids, you're going to have to increase the intensity of that, which is what leads to abuse. That's why spanking is not a long-term solution, or shouldn't be a solution really, personally, but you have to increase it, and that is where it gets dangerous. This is where you have parents breaking their kids' arms and shit, just doing stupid shit because they have to increase the force. It's not effective. We need to know that there are other alternatives to spanking. Absolutely. And that's all I'm saying. I would tell my families, I would never tell them, the parents that I trusted had the emotional regulation for this. I would tell them, if they use physical discipline, you just need more tools in your tool bag. And we would talk about what is appropriate spanking. You punching your kid with a closed fist is not spanking. That is abuse. You cannot punch your kid in the face or the chest and be like, yeah, that's a spanking. No, that's not. You need to have an open palm. These are the things. If there are parents that insisted on spanking, they need to learn appropriate ways so that they're not hurting their children, and so that they're not ending up in the same situation again where these kids are getting snatched. Just Play said one good spanking at 3 years old generally works in my opinion. Yes. Yep, I've heard that. I've definitely heard that. Excuse me. Let me drink some of this here. Nobody touch your gangster like a 3-year-old. Listen, them 3-year-olds, they ain't no joke, Just Blaze. And their spankings are like little lights. But they don't like it. For many of them, that's enough, and it's like a wrap. Gummy Bama said, breaking news pressure. Rico released a cat. There's a 4-minute video on the release. I need to watch it. I'm really glad you said that it's 4 minutes. I can do that. Doreen said, boys sent to the store to carry gallons, at least 8 or 20 plus cans. Girls, hair ornaments magically disappear. And no allowing to share work for me. Exactly. There's different things that work for us. We have to be able to willing to try it. And sometimes they take a little bit of patience too. Like ignoring certain things can work if you have the patience for it, right? It does. Other things do work. My friend's Trini father had to speak to the principal regarding my friend's behavior at school. He told the principal he would cut his Listen, AJ, I'm telling you, them Caribbean parents, they be saying that stuff. That's exactly what they would say. Cut his tail. That's exactly what it is. And it sounds worse than it is, but it just means you're going to get like a spanking. Child Services was on that immediately. Exactly. Because they don't know. Damn. I'm sorry, but that made me laugh because I could just imagine like a West Indian parent saying that, because that is a phrase that they use. Tiffany said, this sounds like a good convo. We'll definitely be replaying from the beginning. Thanks, Tiffany. Thanks for joining us. Indigo said, I grew up struggling. My grandparent raised me and my sisters, and they paid for private school with their Social Security. Growing in the PJs was hard. Why did this jump? Ooh. Was hard, but my grandparents did the best they could. Exactly. And that's what I think about, to giving our parents credit, even if they made mistakes. Every parent makes mistakes. Some are just worse than others, right? A lot of them did the best that they could. And then some of them wasn't shit too, but a lot of them, I'm going to give most of them the benefit of the doubt and say a lot of them did the best that they could, providing that they weren't sadistic and crazy. Doreen says, right, just blazed earlier. You pop, you won't have to later. Yep. And it is more effective when, that's what I'm saying. If you're hitting an older kid, you're just signing yourself up for bad shit down the road. That's just how I feel. Punching a child is severe abuse. Facts. No way any grown person can rationalize punching a child or a cat. Period. Point blank. 100, 200, 500% facts. Okay? This summarizes the entire live right here, because I'm tired of people making excuses. There's absolutely no reason to punch a child or a cat. Period. Zion Movement says, I have a niece who acted a complete fool with her parents. With my presence alone, we have her in line. It is amazing how kids respond differently to different people. I've noticed that immediately. I only talk to her, and her parents don't spank her either. What could that be? You know what, Zion Movements? That is such a great question. I have a couple theories. You know, I can only say they're theories. So I've seen this happen with kids. Either with me and their parents, or one parent will be more respected than the other, and the other parent doesn't have to raise their voice. I think it has to do with your style. So like, people don't realize, like, if you train your kid or your, you know, niece or nephew or grandchild that you're not gonna do anything until you really, really get mad or raise your voice, you're conditioning them for that. So they know, I got about 3 more times before auntie really, really pops off. I got about 2 more stops before, you know, grandma smacks me. It's like you're conditioning them. So with you, Zion, you probably are more firm, but like, you don't have to repeat yourself as much. And then she responds to that, right? She responds to that. So it could just be the way that you do things that commands that type of respect, and the relationship that you have with her. You don't need to do that. And whereas with her parents, they might just be used to telling her 50 times to do something. You know, in one of the type of therapies that I do, I teach parents, you don't have to repeat yourself more than 2 times to get your kid to do something. There's different things that you can do. If you tell them once and you give them a warning and they still didn't do it, you immediately move to it, if you believe in consequences, because, you know, some people don't believe in that. I'm going to keep those comments to myself and be non-judgmental. But Yeah, you like there's ways to reduce how often you have to tell them to do something. You don't have to tell them 5 times. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a number of things, but I bet you just it's the relationship you have with her and it's the way that you are. She knows you say what you mean. Just Blaze says, during it's worked so far. I keep all the young kids together all summer. Kids talk and teach each other. They'd be like, if Auntie popped you, you was tripping. Exactly. That's what you want to be known for, right? That's how I feel like my mom was with me and my sister. Sorry, I'm getting stuffy. Okay. If we got hit, we did some crazy shit. My mom wasn't big on spanking us. So if we did, it's probably because we did some crazy shit. And yeah, I'm really grateful for that. Oh, here comes my husband home for lunch. I had to get off of here soon anyway. Hey, babes. Oh, wait. 1 second, guys. I got to open this. Right now. Come in. What? My car? I'm bad at backing in. I hit that table when I was. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. Zion said, I say it's my old soul or commanding spirit. I love with structure. Yes. And kids will know that. They'll respond to that Zion movements. Like I was gonna ask you, what did you think it was? They know. They know, like, listen, this is what she said, and this is what I mean. And she's not gonna repeat herself 11 times. Doreen's Bless said exactly Just Blaze. Wait, did I miss Just Blaze? Oh, yes, I did. Tiffany said it's crazy that so many adults lack constructive conflict management skills when it comes to parenting. I'm reading that again. It's crazy that so many adults lack constructive conflict management skills when it comes to parenting. Generational curses, man. Whoo, that could be a whole nother live, Tiffany. What you just said about the constructive conflict management skills is everything. Everything. Because I see it play out so much, especially on here, right? You can tell the people who they don't have those skills at all. They don't have those skills. And we can unpack that about what that looks like and how crazy it looks and how they treat each other. And so you can imagine, how are these people behaving with other people in their lives? How are they behaving with children? AKA, how are they behaving with pets? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just sad. It's sad. That needs to be a whole live right there. That's on point. Indigo said, this is content. I love coming in here. Thank you, Indigo. That makes my heart so happy. I like the mess at times, but dialogue and real conversation is so refreshing. Me too. I like a little mess too, Indigo, but I love these real conversations too. And I'm just so grateful for you guys that you can get down with both. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. I absolutely love this combo. Doreen said, love this combo. Fresh cooking chat. Gotta run. Bye, Doreen. I'm gonna head out soon too. I need to get ready. I'm bad. I said this is gonna be short. I'm turning to Jay Wilson. He's like, I'm not gonna be on here long. 3 hours later. Wait, oops. Doreen, Tiffany said, oh, 100%. You see it on a lot, Tiffany. A lot. Hey, Freckles. Thank you so much. Listen, guys, if you have not checked out Freckles Off Duty Therapist, check her out. She does amazing content and she's another fellow therapist. Saran said, I slapped my daughter with a couple of times and my mother who slapped us told me, don't do that. It's so humiliating and demeaning. And she realized she was wrong for doing it. So I was shocked. Samara, I just felt chills when you wrote that. So isn't it amazing that our parents, when they become grandparents, sometimes that's when they can see the layers of like, oh, damn. Like they're looking at it through different lens. And she said this to you. And she's helping you and her daughter. And that is, you're absolutely right. That's her way of saying, you know what? Don't do this. And I wish I didn't do this. Right. And I wish, sometimes I wish they can come out and be more clear, like, I'm sorry, but you getting that is pure solid gold right there. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Freckles said, excellent topic. Definitely going to catch the replay. Yes, please catch the replay, Freckles. Tiffany is cracking up. Okay, guys. So I do have to go, and I'm getting stuffy and out of breath here. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. Thank you for joining me. I owe my esoteric people some videos. So I need to get on that this week. Thank you for being patient as I did this move. I really appreciate y'all so much. And I'm sending y'all love and good vibes. I'll be back soon. I don't know when, but I gotta get ready for work. I love y'all. Have a great day. Tiffany said I left my laptop charger at home, so I guess I'll be heading out here from work soon too. I hate when that happens. Oh my gosh. All right, guys, have a wonderful, blessed day, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks to everybody that's been here, and shout out to all the people who will be on the replay. You too, Samara. Thank you for being here, and thanks for sharing. Shout out to everybody that shared their thoughts, their feelings, and their personal stories. I appreciate y'all trusting us with that. Thank you so much. Big up, AJ. Peace and blessings, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Indigo said, "Great live. Hopefully, YouTube will notify me in next live." Girl, Indigo, child, I'm gonna have to get YouTube together because they be acting up. They be acting up. Well, I'm trying to get my son to give me my grandbaby. I told him I know what I'm doing now. Just lazy. Of course you do. Of course. Hey, dear Yvette. Big up to dear Yvette. All right, guys. Let me get out of here. I gotta go get ready and peace out. Love y'all. Bye.